Hello, today we're going to look at the updates to Google Classroom. Now hopefully you're familiar with Google Classroom, so we're going to go in to the classes that hopefully you've already created. And one of the things that we're going to point out right off the bat is, of course, the three tabs across the top. There are several ways that you can invite students into your class. When you're on the first tab, the home page here, the stream, if you scroll down on the left, you will see the class code. This is probably how most of your students are getting into your class, because they simply have to click the plus sign that's on their first page and type in that code. If you have someone that's struggling or you want to take that matter into your own hand, if I go to the Students tab, I can hit Invite and directly add those students simply by typing in their email. While I'm on this tab, I'm just going to point this little drop-down arrow because we've had some questions about where can I turn off student comments. For those of you that don't want students making comments, it's right here. You can just click where only teachers can post. So those are the two ways you can get students in. If I go to the About tab, this is something where I can invite teachers in. Maybe you want to have a co-teacher or your team, your department, maybe you've created some kind of class together for testing or something. Whoever is the owner, you can come here to invite teacher. Again, just type in their district email and they will get an invitation to accept to join your class. So now that we have our students and our teachers in there, we have our class going, we're going to look at some of the new features. On the bottom right, on our plus sign, we have some new features to this. Now we've always had create an assignment and create an announcement. They have added a new thing here called create a question. While it's not very different from the announcement or the assignment, it does have a different icon, and in the stream it will say question instead of the other two. Right here where it says title the question, type your question. And then you can click ask. Once you've typed your question, you have the option of choosing multiple classes here. And this is true of anything, whether we're talking about assignments or announcements. You can always assign more than just the class that you're working in. You can choose multiple classes to put that in there at one time. You also, and this is true again of announcements and, this is true of assignments and questions, you have due dates on there. You can put the date that you need. You have the option of putting what time did you want something to see in case you want it to be specific to that class period and you don't want them to see it beforehand. But the new feature is the option of turning off the time. Maybe this, in case of this question here, this is something that we might be working at different paces for the students and they might be getting into it at a different time, or maybe the same with assignment. And so you don't have to have a due date. You can turn that off and then post this out. Now, inside the stream, as you'll see, here's an announcement, here's a question. It will appear different as you get those across there. You can also reuse posts from previous classes by clicking that and then choosing the class that you may have typed in. Now this may be an archived class from last year, or it could be a current one if you already put it in and didn't realize I could reuse that and assign it to different classes. So if I go to this class here and select the class and I go ahead and it shows me all the assignments that I had put in here. So if I wanted this quiz on there, I can simply click reuse that quiz, and now I have the option of again sending this out, deciding if I want a date and so on. And I can choose whichever other classes that I want to send this into. One of the great new features that they have, if you go up near the top here under the three lines in the main menu, you always had your classes, but underneath that now is calendar view. The calendar view takes anything that you assigned a date to and will show it in a calendar, not only for you but for the students as well. And it color codes by your classes. So while you may not have as many things here, or you do, the students will definitely have more than one class for the most part. And so this is nice because they can kind of go through and then see, oh, what do I have due from that class on that day? Now this only is anything that you put due dates on. So that's one downside. If you choose to not put a date on it, it will not appear in the calendar. Speaking of, let's say that I've gone back into my class and I have an assignment here and my due dates. One of the things that I want to make sure that we're looking at inside students, we talked about we can obviously cut off the posts and so forth. but you do know that you can have different actions that you can do on the students, and they haven't changed any of that. But again, some of you have asked, where can I go back and look through those things? Now, we've covered almost all of the new features except for a few cosmetic things. So here's my view of these classes, and let's say I have a lot of them that appear blue here, and I want to change that appearance because maybe I want to color code them to a team that I have. I can click on my class, and I can change the appearance. Right up here, they always had the ability to change the theme, but I can actually upload my own photo now. So if there's something specific that you wanted to make for your class here, you can upload that folder. It does ask for certain size requirements to make sure that works. Okay, so we've got our class, we've got how it looks, we've got our students in, we know how to post, and questions and reuse posts. We're all done except we have some old classes that we need to remove. So any class that you're no longer using, simply hover over the 3 dots when you're in class view here, and you'll see, of course, the rename, but you'll see archive. This is very important to do because it will remove it from the students that were in that class as well. So your students from last year, if you haven't archived your classes, they're still seeing your class on their drive, on their classroom view, which they've already got a lot, so that's kind of jumbled up. So when you archive it, you're not deleting it. You can still go back and find it. You can still reuse posts from it. It's just not active, and so that removes it from your view and their view. Hopefully these little new features here are going to be very useful to you. The nice thing about Google Classroom is they're constantly adding new things, and we have some exciting things that'll keep coming to you.